Steelers Nation, this might be the most important offseason this franchise has faced in over a decade. New head coach, new staff, the NFL draft in Pittsburgh, and more draft capital than the Steelers have ever had in the modern era. Let that sink in. For the first time in years, this team isn't just tweaking around the edges. They're in position to reshape the entire future of the roster. And it starts with one word: aggression. 12 draft picks, 12 chances to reset the offense, 12 opportunities to finally break out of the post-Ben limbo. And here's the part that should get every Steelers fan fired up. The last time Pittsburgh had this kind of draft power, they walked out with Emmanuel and Antonio Brown in the same class. That move changed the franchise for a decade. Now, the Steelers are back in that exact position again. Only this time, they already have DK Metcalf. They already have a dominant defense. They already have a championship-level culture. All they need is the final piece. And this draft might be the moment the Steelers finally decide to stop playing safe and start playing to win again.
It's been a whirlwind of a time covering the Steelers. Since I left for the Senior Bowl, the Steelers have hired Mike McCarthy at head coach. The Steelers have hired a defensive coordinator. Maybe they'll hire an offensive coordinator this week. But it has just been fast times here at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette covering the Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers always, Chris, it's 24/7, 365. But when you add on a coaching search and obviously McCarthy putting together a new staff, the draft being in Pittsburgh here in a couple of months, yeah, this is going to be a busy offseason for you, me, Brian, and Jerry. So looking forward to it.
One thing I pointed out in the preamble to my mock was that the Steelers have 12 draft picks this year, and they have never. I did the research in the 32 drafts since it's been the seventh round format that the Steelers have had. The Steelers have never used 12 draft picks. The most they've ever used was 11. That was back in 1999. The last time they even used 10, the only other time they used 10, by my count, was 2010, and that was a year where they took two wide receivers, Emmanuel and Antonio Brown, replacing Santonio Holmes, who they traded away, much like they traded away George Pickens this year. So I thought it fitting for that. This is where I thought the Steelers could afford to be aggressive. These picks had been added up, thinking maybe they'll go for a quarterback, but what if they go for a super playmaker wide receiver? The guy that I think could make it outside the top 10 and be worth that was Mekhi Lemon, USC receiver. He's not one of the 6'4" guys like Carnell Tate and Denzel Boston and some of the other tall guys. But man, his tape screams great route runner, great combat catch guy, potential wide receiver 1, potential top 10 receiver in the NFL someday. And that's what I thought. If the Steelers could get that guy, pair him with DK Metcalf for the next 4 or 5 years, that could make the receiver room fixed really quickly.
Yeah, the thing I'm always curious about with mock drafts, Chris, and you might not have already ranked your receivers 1 through 5 or 1 through 10. But did you have guys like Tate going before the Steelers picked at 11? Did you have Jordan Tyson or any of these other guys going before you gave him Lemon?
In the mocks, I had Tyson went. I forget where exactly he went in that class, but Tyson went early. It went in the top 10, and Tate went in the top 10. So it was Lemon left. The other weight would have been for Denzel Boston. But The way I just look at the needs of the teams that come before the Steelers, if they wait until 21, there's a good chance that all 4 of those guys, Tate, Tyson, Lemon, and Boston, could all be gone. And Concepcion, I think, could be really good. But I think that these guys have a better chance of being pure elite wide receivers. That's why I thought trade up, go get your guy. And when I kept going over this, I think Lemon was the one that could fall within a gettable range. He fell to 11th, where I had them trading up with the Dolphins to get.
They have 2 big receivers, because if you look at the way the DK Metcalf plays, and I know it's going to be different under Mike McCarthy, but he's not your traditional go ball guy, right? When he made big plays this year, think about the Vikings game. It was throw it short. He's going to complete it long. He had a few plays down the field like the Ravens game, but they were not able to spring him on long routes. And I just don't think that's the best thing in his toolbox. I think he's better in other ways. And if you can go get a guy who's big, who can provide that big playability, who can make contested catches, because DK's, that's not really his forte. I think that's something the Steelers definitely have to look at. In my mind, Chris, they're all set with small receivers. Whether they bring Calvin Austin back or not, he's 5'8", whatever, $190.
Right.
Roman Wilson, I know he's listed over 6 feet tall, but he's diminutive. He's not a guy who's got a big frame. I view him very much in the same way that I view Austin. He's not going to be a big physical receiver down the field for you. So I think the need is there for a big physical guy, and I think that's the route that the Steelers are likely going to take at some point in the draft. Doesn't have to be their first receiver, but if they pick 2, one of them will definitely be of a bigger variety, I think.
Certainly, and Mekhi Lemon, maybe your guy in the slot. And then that way, if Aaron Rodgers comes back, or if you go and get Malik Willis, or if you draft a quarterback soon, you'd have basically like, hey, here's 3 really athletic receivers. Here's this offensive line that we've developed. We'll have something for you when we...
Let's look at the reality of where the Steelers are right now. This organization has been competitive every single year, but they haven't been truly dangerous since Ben Roethlisberger retired. The defense has carried this team, the culture has kept them relevant, but the offense has been stuck in neutral. And now, for the first time, the front office has the tools to actually fix it. 12 draft picks is not normal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In fact, it has never happened before in the 7-round draft era. The most they've ever had was 11. That tells you everything about how much flexibility Omar Khan has right now. And what makes this even more symbolic is the historical parallel. The last time the Steelers loaded up on draft picks like this, they had just traded away Santonio Holmes. The roster needed new playmakers, and in that 2010 draft, they selected Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Brown. 2 picks, 2 receivers, one of the greatest offensive eras in franchise history. Fast forward to today, the Steelers just traded away George Pickens. Once again, the receiver room is wide open. Once again, the team has massive draft capital. And once again, the future of the offense is completely up for grabs. This is not an accident. This is a pattern. The Steelers don't rebuild often, but when they do, they go all in. And this wide receiver class might be the deepest one in years. From what scouts and analysts saw at the Senior Bowl, this is not just a class full of role players. It's a class full of potential stars. Big receivers, fast receivers, elite route runners, contested catch specialists. Exactly what Pittsburgh needs. Because as good as DK Metcalf is, he is not a traditional vertical receiver. He is a physical weapon, a yards-after-catch monster, a nightmare in space. But he is not the guy who consistently wins one-on-one on deep contested balls. And that's the missing piece. The Steelers don't need another small slot receiver. They already have those. What they need is a second alpha, a true outside presence who forces defenses to pick their poison. Imagine DK Metcalf on one side and a big, elite rookie receiver on the other. Now, imagine what that does for any quarterback who walks into that situation. It doesn't matter if it's a veteran, it doesn't matter if it's a rookie, it doesn't even matter if it's a future trade. That offense becomes instantly dangerous. That's why this offseason feels different. This isn't about patching holes. This is about constructing an identity. This is about building an offense that finally matches the intensity of the defense. And that's where Mike McCarthy's arrival becomes crucial. McCarthy has always built his best teams around strong receiver groups and aggressive offensive structure. He understands spacing. He understands vertical threats. He understands how to create mismatches. The Steelers finally have a coach and a front office aligned on the same philosophy. Build the weapons first, then bring in the quarterback. And that is the smartest approach in the modern NFL. Quarterbacks don't thrive in broken systems. They thrive in prepared environments. They thrive when protection is solid and weapons are elite. That's exactly what Pittsburgh is building right now. This draft isn't just about selecting players. It's about setting the stage for the next era of Steelers football. An era where the offense is no longer surviving. An era where the offense is dictating games. An era where the defense doesn't have to be perfect every single week. The Steelers are finally acting like a franchise that wants to dominate again, not just compete. And if they use these picks the right way, this could be the most important draft class in Pittsburgh since the early 2000s. Because the foundation is already there. The defense is championship level. The culture is elite. The city is hosting the draft. The league is watching. All that's missing is the final offensive transformation. And for the first time in years, the Steelers actually have the power to make it happen. Now I want to hear from you, Steelers Nation. Should Pittsburgh go all in on wide receivers in this draft? Should they trade up and get a true star? Or should they save those picks for a future quarterback move? Drop your opinion in the comments. Hit that like button if you believe this offseason is different. And subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire for real analysis, real vision, and the real future of this franchise. Because the next era of Steelers football is being built right now.